What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's Top 3. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most recent cardistry drops in the community, and I gotta say, man, these are some dope decks. You excited, Steve?
I'm kind of excited. It's interesting pairing these up together. You know, they're three cardistry brands, and they're all kind of different.
They are really
You have
different.
your kind of classic, a little bit out of the box, and then like luxurious cardistry. You know?
Yeah, that's one way to look at them, man, for sure. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And ring the bell.
And let's take a quick word from our sponsor. One of our favorite decks of 2020, the Wonder playing cards feature beautiful 3D back designs and an amazing tuck printed by Clove Street Press. Check out the latest version, Scarlet, live now on Kickstarter. Alright, let's jump right into it. Steve, what came in third place this week?
Coming in third is the missing Databend 6 deck. It is printed by USPCC on their classic stock. It is a print run of 1,000 and retails for $16.
Nice, man. Solid price point for this thing, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So this is a super minimal tuck. It has some retro design on the side that kind of carries on to the back. But other than that, I really dig the simple just white tuck with a little font in the corners. It's actually hard to focus on nothing.
Yeah. Dude, I really dig it too. It is really clean. It almost has like a graffiti street art vibe to those side pieces, though. Almost like a brick wall with like spray paint on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a glitch, like a matrix glitch, you know? It's a really cool back design. I love the colors, that blue and kind of magenta.
Yeah, very like
and pink.
spring, fun, almost summery colors.
Yeah, it's definitely graffiti vibes for sure. Handles beautifully. You know, it is a little thick. You know, it's not crushed, but it's definitely thicker than what I'm used to. You know, but handles beautifully, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, they do have two, I guess you can call them Joker / ad cards in them.
Interesting.
You know, that's kind of creepy. Kind of reminds me of like a horror movie, Poltergeist
like
type.
The Ring or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're Ace of Spades with their, you know, kind of glitchy, you know, background. They do have generally standard quartz. They do have, you know, they pulled that color in from the back design. Now, here's the thing that kind of threw me off, which obviously makes this this deck kind of unplayable, is that all the colors are black.
That threw me for a second, too, because I was like, wait a second, that's a diamond. I had to double take there.
Yeah, that's why I stopped on it at first, and I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, that really makes it unplayable. It definitely is a cardistry deck through and through, but I really dig the colors, and randomly, I looked on other cards. I don't know, I didn't obviously look too close on every card, but there's this random pip that it's so hard to focus on.
It's something about this deck just kills autofocus.
Well, it's kind of cool. It kind of goes with the theme, though. You know, it kind of glitches out and doesn't want to focus.
It's too funny.
But there's a you know, pip that I don't even know what I'm trying to say it, but
features the back design around it. Yeah,
too. It's glitching me out.
Features the back design around it, which I think is really cool, though. It is a nice little touch too, because for something that is so monochromatic on the faces, other than the clothing, to throw those random pips in kind of throws a splash of color, which is something you always want in cardistry. And one of the cool things about that too is you look. I think it was on the 4 of clubs we saw it on the first spot there. But that basically means that as you're playing around with the deck and doing flourishes, they're always going to look different, especially if sometimes the 4 of clubs is facing out, sometimes it's not, which is really cool.
Yeah, and randomly you'll get that Ace of Hearts as well that has, you know, that design on it. And then you had the 2 ad cards with, I assume, are the creators of the brand.
Very cool.
They were kind of funky ad cards. I like them.
Nice, man. You know, it was definitely an interesting looking deck. Again, very minimalist. Very much meant for that cardistry side of things there. And coming in at $16, that's not a bad deal, considering that most of the cardistry decks these days we're seeing are in that like 12 to 18 range. So it's not bad, but again, being very standard and very minimal, I would have loved it as a $12 deck too, so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're kind of not even seeing those prices nowadays. Yeah. But, you know, Missing is, you know, I'm a big fan of Missing. Their urban kind of graffiti-esque brand, I guess you can say. You know, all their kind of decks kind of go across that board.
Yeah, it really fits well
Yeah.
with their vibe as a whole, which I think is cool. It's always nice to see a brand establishing its kind of repertoire that all fits together, still evolving though, which is really nice.
Yeah, and they sell out quick too all the time.
Nice. So,
what do we got for number 2, dude?
number 2 is definitely a flashy deck. I think it's the flashiest deck this week. But coming in at number 2, we have the Organic Playing Cards Exotic deck. This deck is only available currently if you are a OPC Passport holder and have completed it, aka have purchased 6 different OPC decks in the past. It's actually an ongoing program, so people are still able to get this even if they're late to the OPC game. But this is printed by an unknown printer, though I speculate that it may be Taiwan Playing Card Company. Is printed on, again, an unknown stock and is part of a 1,000 print run. And being that you can only get this through the OPC Passport program, there actually is no retail price on this currently, which is really interesting. And I think, kind of adds a little bit of a collector flair to what this would traditionally be, maybe a Magic/Cardistry deck.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Let's check this thing out, man. Put on your sunglasses. It gets a little bright here. So, as you can see, just checking this thing out, the entire tuck is gold foil, and it's supposed to mimic the style or the outside of a pineapple. So it's very interesting, and I think once I say pineapple, you see it, but if I saw it without knowing that, it doesn't necessarily hit until you get into the cards. It's a very, pineapple-esque feel, but I think there's little touches that would have been a little more standoutish as a pineapple. I really do like the contrasting foil on the inside as well. That's basically the exact opposite of the tuck itself.
Yeah.
And then you can see the tuck is mirrored on that beautifully gold foiled back design there as well. Fan's actually really great, and this deck actually felt lighter in hand than pretty much any deck I've felt. I'm really curious what the stock is because it feels really nice, fanned, sprang, and just handled great in general. You can
green, huh?
You can see here all of the black suits have actually been replaced by green. You have a fun little travel-oriented ace of spades there, and then again, standard indices and pips on the number cards. And then we get into the traditionally styled OPC court cards here, where it's very much vacation themed, pineapple themed. I hate that card right there with the pineapple pizza on it. But other than that,
all normal people hate that card.
But otherwise, I really do enjoy a lot of the themes. I think you had to kind of throw pineapple and pizza in there just for the lovers, but you can also see that the traditionally red suits have actually been replaced with orange here. So it's a very interesting tropical theme. And one of the things that stands out to me on this especially is you look at these queen and jack cards here, you almost lose a lot of detail in the orange on the clothing, which as I look closer, it's almost a gold in there, and it looks nice, but there's a lot of hard visual contrast between those two colors that makes it a little difficult to see. Being a cardistry / magic deck, that could be problematic if you're performing with it, but from a cardistry point of view, that really shiny back design is going to be amazing from a visual kind of point of view. I do have you have matching jokers in the back there as well. But for the most part, like most OPC decks, it is relatively standard other than those semi-custom court cards, which add a little fun pineapple theme to it, whether they be pineapple drinks, pineapple pizza, which hurts my soul. And then, I feel like there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments who are like, I love pineapple pizza. And while that's all well and good, growing up on the East Coast, that's like basically a sin. So with that in mind, I have no dislike for people who enjoy pineapple pizza. I just dislike pineapple pizza. So
I agree. I'm also from the East Coast, so it's embedded in us.
Without a doubt. So, and I'm sure there's someone who's going to chime in as well, and I hope you do, who says, I'm from the East Coast and I love pineapple pizza, and you are a unique individual, and that is good for you. Enjoy your pineapple pizza because someone has to eat it. But it's not me.
Yeah. It's called Hawaiian pizza.
Yes, Hawaiian pizza.
Comes with like ham on it as well.
And pineapple. Yeah, dude, that's just like, I'm not a big ham person anyway, so you throw pineapple on it and it's a big no. But with that,
and here's the thing, I don't even like heated up pineapple. Hot pineapple just doesn't.
Everything about it just sounds terrible.
It just doesn't sound good. Yeah.
But before we turn off any more viewers with the talk of hot pineapple, why don't you tell us what number 1 is, Steve?
Number 1 is the Fontaine Good Company version 2. Yes. It is printed by USPCC on their premium crush stock. It is a print run of 10,000. and it goes for $15.
Nice, man. Let's check this thing out. I really dig the first one, so I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. Dude, totally different than the first one.
It really is.
It is on a matte tuck, though, which I thought is really cool. They're definitely stepping out of the box.
Yeah.
No pun intended. You know, but, you know, I really am enjoying these, I guess...
Artistic?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, crazy collaborations that they're doing. You know, they're really taking it to the next level. A lot of people in the beginning were like, you know, it's just a simple recolor.
Yeah.
But now they're really going the complete opposite end of the spectrum. You have your two cartoon Fs, I guess you can say. I mean, I don't even know what they are, but they're funky.
They're definitely interesting. They kind of remind me of like something you'd see in like Schoolhouse Rock.
100%. Dude, I was thinking, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of like a celery stick or like one of the one of those fruit people. You know what I mean?
And absolutely, of course, handles and fans like a dream being USPCC premium brush stock. Dude, these jokers are dope.
They're fun, man. Two different colors. I like the blue and yellow one better, but they're really, really cool. Super funky. This is definitely a Schoolhouse Rock or Fat Albert type deck.
Yeah.
You know, that's the vibe I get.
That vibe
really
is definitely
bubbly.
there, man. Yeah, like 80s cartoons.
Yeah.
I like it.
And, you know, it's understandable. You know, Zach's a big cartoon fan or kind of toy fan.
Yeah.
You know, he likes that stuff. But the Ace of Diamonds is really cool, too. You have a centralized enlarged pip, which I always enjoy. And the pips are totally...
different, yeah.
Custom.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, I don't even know what they are. It looks like kind of like a tuxedo shirt or something.
I have to say, I actually really like the custom pip placement as well on the number cards.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely, I think, really cool for motion with Cardistry.
Yeah.
Not being in the same spots and being on the outside, you probably see them more when doing like the worm or like different movement like that. But I really love the fatty indices, you know.
Now it looks good and it really is very artistic. I think that's one of the things that Zach is really coming to into his own right with the Fontaine brand recently. I think there's been a lot of good feedback on the artsy decks.
Yeah, I mean, they're so funky. One of the queens kind of reminded me of Smurfette. Yeah, but there's, you know, I really dig this guy. I'd like to see version 3 come out with maybe a new style with him, you know?
Who knows, man? Maybe he becomes the Fontaine mascot.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Like Fontaine Gumby.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about that salmon color, though. I'm kind of torn between that.
That's the one thing that irks me a little, because actually, you know what? It's funny. One of my favorite shirts is a salmon shirt, and I don't mind the color, but something about it on here with the matte just falls a little bit... I don't want to say falls flat, but it doesn't seem to hit the way I would expect, especially with those other colors being so vibrant and primary. That being said, I feel like every time a Fontaine deck comes out now, I'm sitting here saying, one of my favorite Fontaines, one of my favorite Fontaines. And I think Zach is really getting a lot of positive feedback on these very artistic decks, and I think that's why we keep seeing these collabs become more and more creative. You know, not just like let me throw some pictures that are related to the theme onto a standard Fontaine back. They're really doing a great job bringing some beautiful, fun, out-of-the-box artwork onto these decks.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to see how that collaboration you know, comes about, how they go into talking about what they're going to put on the deck. Is it going to be standard? You know, let's go ahead and go all out and go custom to the bone, you know?
Yeah, dude, no doubt. I'm loving to see it. And I think, you know, one of the cool things about it too is I know a lot of collectors who are very picky about only getting decks that are fully custom are finally starting to get into the Fontaine realm because of these fully custom decks. So from my point of view, I think it's great because he's actually opening his audience and availability, or not even availability, but audience kind of interest in these decks.
Yeah, and with a print run of 10,000, it definitely made it easier for people to pick up.
Absolutely, man. And congratulations to this week's comment shout out, Rambo Racing. Make sure to check out his comment down below, and while you're at it, leave one of your comments as well and let us know what your favorite cardistry deck this week is. In fact, you may even be so lucky as to win next week's comment shout out. So leave a comment, and while you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
Hell, let us know what pizza you like. Peace.